So we've caught him. Hopefully he'll help us figure out how to get to Makarov.
San Bravo, we're reading 70.
Right, then this happens.
Sector, please verify.
Very funny, Station. That's a big negative, over.
Yeah, might be a glitch in one of the ACS.
So they needed that level to interrupt, so there was a gap between no Russian and what's about to happen now. But
Skies are clear, Station. You've got yourself some phantom dots.
it wasn't the thing they needed to put there at the Zilly level.
Signs in your sector of some 100 bogies. Please advise.
Negatory, Station. Scope is clear. I don't know what to tell you. Solar interference, heavy sunspot activity today.
Sierra Delta, we may have a minor ACS fault here. Do you have anything on your scope? Sierra Delta, repeat.
I'm looking at fighter jets over I-95! How the hell did they get through?
Stand by, attempting to contact the nearest unit in that sector.
I read you. This is 1st Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment. Sergeant Foley, acting commander of Hunter 2-1. Do you copy? Over.
All stations be advised. Satellite surveillance has been disabled. SOSUS and Paypal's arrays are inoperative.
So America's being invaded now. And this is essentially the consequence of no Russian. The Americans have been held responsible for a terrorist attack, and now the Russians are invading America. And all of a sudden you're on a suburban American street fighting a land war, which is probably all in the trailers for Modern Warfare 2 as well, like the War Comes to America kind of sequel kind of thing. This is a really kind of nothing introduction to this idea. Like, the next level you do in America is in Washington is really quite interesting, and is like, holy shit, I'm fighting in Washington kind of idea. But this level is just, now you're on a suburban street in America fighting. And I guess it's kind of working with the assumption you saw the trailers, so it's not really a surprise for you. But going back briefly before I talk about that, so if you remember back to that snow level, we were trying to get to that satellite that had been downed to get the ACS module, the American Codes or something module. And now obviously we didn't retrieve it in time, and the Russians had managed to decode it, which means they got past all the American satellites and all their forces snuck in, and we didn't realize till it was too late. So that's how that level connects to what's happening here. But it's never really, apart from the word ACS said at one point, it's not made particularly clear. But I read Wikipedia because I had no idea what was happening in this game, and that's how I know. So that is a major fault of the game's storytelling for sure. So there's kind of sad, melancholy music playing because these poor American streets have been touched by war. You know, it's not sad when we're fighting through favelas where people live, but when it's a suburban American street, we need sad music. So this is kind of how the Modern Warfare games deal with having already launched a nuke in the first game, and then having to make sequels. Like, what else could we possibly do? And the answer to that is a massive war in America itself. Then, of course, Modern Warfare 3 continues that with, you know, essentially World War 3 in Europe. So we're like totally beyond the realm of plausible near-future scenarios, and now it's just kind of pure militarist fantasy. So the most amusing thing about this level is our introduction to the invasion of America is defending a bunch of fast food joints, which is incredibly hilarious. It's not the White House, it's not the Statue of Liberty, it's not, I don't know, the Grand Canyon, it's KFC and McDonald's and Donut King. Back to Bastion of America, we will defend.
I'm on it.
On me! Go, go, go!
Holy! Move in!
So yeah, this level's just really not particularly good either. Continuing that trend at the moment. Not Nate's.
We got a foot mobile on the roof of the Burger Town! Give me a sit rep. Where's Raptor? We moved her to the meat locker. It's practically bulletproof. What's his status? He's still unconscious. You got a medic?
Rifle gun, check it out.
So again, we stop progressing, we just kind of end up having to defend this area.
On the roof with an M5 sentry gun. Ramirez, get to the roof and check out the supply drop.
So the guy I'm controlling now is named Ramirez. We saw his name at the very start of this level. It's very hard to miss who you are if you're not paying attention to the loading screens. Oh, you're good, guys.
What about anti-tank weapons? Air support.
Should have made a Stay Frosty joke while they were in the freezer.
Roger that.
So, defending some kind of auto gun. So we just moved from fast food restaurant to fast food restaurant to defend them.
Squad, this is Hunter 2-1 actual. Switch to thermal optics if you got them. Incoming from the south. 2 dozen plus foot mobiles.
Tango's on the roof behind us.
There's a sniper rifle here somewhere. Nope, what is that?
Contacts next to the Mexican restaurant.
Defend the Mexican restaurant. So now we're just doing some kind of... We're literally just on the roof of a fast food restaurant, defending it from Russians.
Target acquired.
It's just... So you can't make this shit up, but somebody clearly did. Ah, there's a sniper rifle right next to it.
Hey, we got contact to the north. Hey, shift your fire.
Oh shit. That was not what I meant to do.
Roger.
I guess I'll leave that there now. Anyway, that all could have gone better.
Hostiles on the roof. Inside our perimeter. I'm out.
Cover me. Looks like Ivor's had enough. Overdone. Give me a sit rep on Raptor. Over.
Raptor is secure and stable.
Roger that. Everyone, check your weapons and ammo. They'll be back. 2-1 Delta, be advised. 2 BTRs coming in from the north.
Roger that. What the hell was that?
Get down off the roof now! Get off the roof!
Hostiles taking up defensive positions inside the diner. Target acquired.
Inside that diner to the west, over.
So now we have to attack the diner.
SOB.
To stop those missiles. Whoop. He's good. I do like the kind of... Again, it's nothing no other game has done, but... You know, there's a crashed helicopter, they've clearly put out where it's crashed if it's kind of scraped through here. You know, it's not unique to this game, obviously, in any way, but I still like that little idea of the temporal in spatiality. and I get to use a drone. So obviously, just like the first game, we have that continuing of, you know, spectacular technologies of war rather. And it's about to continue now that I have access to an unmanned drone. So I have to fire and then steer. So I find it interesting with the unmanned drones, and you see this more in the later ones, you kind of see that multiple perspectives of war thing these games do between levels, between characters, like that, throwing you from one body to another. You see that kind of repeated on a, within a single level, like, you know your character's down there and now you're looking from a different perspective. But still an embodied first-person perspective, just first-person from the drone instead of first-person from your character. And in Modern Warfare 3, you kind of see like, you know, more gunship levels, like in Death from Above, where it kind of swaps between a character on the ground and a character in the sky, you know, without loading screens, just kind of you're controlling these two characters at once. You see it in the Black Ops games as well, a little bit too. So you just kind of see that multiple bodies, multiple perspectives thing, but always a view from somewhere, kind of taken as far as it can go. I wasn't listening. Oh right, I have to get back to a burger joint.
Enemy fast movers! Take cover! 2-1 Alpha, you still there? Roger that. Everyone, that's enough. New plan.
So our building got destroyed.
Take your team and secure the Burger Town. We're gonna move Raptor over there.
Can't believe they took out Nate. So now we're going to Burger Town.
We're moving Raptor.
Took out our Mexican, they took out our sports bar, took out our diners. There's clearly a war on everything America holds dear.
We got hostile troops inside that Burger Town.
It's good to just draw this out, just to hear your teammates, your squad mates have to say Burger Town over and over.
Kills, Hunter 2-1, good kill.
Sometimes that you know, the headquarters radio guy tell you how many people you killed with each drone, which is kind of weird. It's all weird. Oh dear.
Be advised, we're gonna move Raptor from Nate's to the Burger Town as a group.
Tango's in the parking lot of that taco joint! I have a target! Cover me!
That's a direct hit, Hunter 2-1. Keep up the fire.
Target at 12 o'clock!
3! Go, go, go!
5+ confirmed kills. Nice work, Hunter 2-1.
I think they're good guys, I don't even know. Alright. Oh yeah, we have a very important person. I can't remember who this very important person is. I don't think that even gets mentioned again. I might be wrong on that, so don't quote me on that, but I feel like you have this very important person and they never actually return to it. As though they had an idea for other missions.
10+ KIAs. Good hit, good hit. Good kills, Hunter.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different VIP that you do after this.
Be advised, Hunter 2-1, you have an enemy patrol by that bank to the north. Over.
So this entire mission is really just in this like one shopping center. Like you're not even really progressing through American streets or anything apart from that suburban street at the start. So for an introduction to you know, a land invasion in America is just really quite forgettable.
That's a direct hit, Hunter 2-1. Keep up the fire. Good hit. More than 5 KIAs. Hunter 2-1, Hunter 4 has a visual on a hostile group near the Nova gas station. Over.
Be advised! The Predator is offline! I repeat, the Predator is offline!
But, so they finally realized I was using their drone against them, I guess.
Man down! Hostile in the Burger Town parking lot!
I guess I just got sick of me reusing it over and over.
Hostile in the Burger Town parking lot!
Oh dear.
More than 5 KIAs.
Oh no!
Hunter 2-1, 15 plus tangos approaching near the diner to the west. Over.
Wow, I just think it did not checkpoint? No, it did. It was just more enemies. Okay, good. From over, I thought it sent me way back.
Offline! They're cutting through the gas station! Oh no! Moving!
Hunter 2-1, this is Overlord. We got a visual on a pair of enemy attack helicopters headed for your area. Over.
Can't even tell who the good guys are here. Oh dear.
Cover me!
And back to the diner again. No, the petrol station. There's one of my... No, we are going to the diner.
3 o'clock!
Someone in our group realized they had a, they saw a Stinger missile launcher in here.
Nice work. That heli is down.
Hunter 2-1, be advised, 15 plus enemy foot mobiles approaching north of your location. Over.
What are you doing, man?
Ramirez! Target at 9 o'clock!
Hunter 2-1, relay from Goliath 1. You got an enemy helicopter loaded for bear approaching your area. Over.
Eyes up! The enemy gunship coming in hot! The second helo just showed up. Take it down!
Need another Stinger.
Hey, I saw a couple of stingers on the roof.
Ugh. So now I got to go back to Nate's. We're just doing laps here. Oh, at least we're getting all the terrible levels over and done with in one go. So you got to run through the enemies now, which at least is something new. Nope. You got a bit cocky there.
Hunter 2-1, relay from Goliath 1. You got an enemy helicopter loaded for bear approaching your area. Over.
Cover me! Eyes up! The enemy gunship coming in hot! The second helo just showed up. Take it down!
Wrangler! I have a target moving through!
So you do have these strategically placed blown up cars for you actually take cover behind as you get back over there. So it does require a little bit of, you know, self-thinking about where you actually have to stand in that, but it's about as much positiveness as I can say about this part of the game. At least you're part of a squad again, unlike in Brazil. So you can rely on other people to draw fire. If only Captain Price was here to open doors for me.
Nice work. That heli is down.
What happens when you attack our fast food joints?
The convoy is here. Everyone on me. We're getting the hell out of here. Let's go. Let's go. Ramirez, the convoy is just to the south of Burgertown. Get your ass over here. Move.
Roger!
Ramirez, we gotta get back to the convoy.
I'm going. Oh, it's still enemies. Okay. So the amount of time they just make you linger here is just really perplexing.
The convoy is here. Everyone on me. We're getting the hell out of here. Let's go. Let's go. 102-1, this is Overlord. Give me a sit rep over. Overlord, 102-1. Be advised. Precious cargo is secure. Repeat. Precious cargo is secure. We're off the mic. Overlord copies all. Good job. Out. Squad, we still got 2,000 cities in Arcadia. If you got a family there, it's your lucky day. We're gonna go save their lives.
So okay, so that's enough for today. So neither of those levels are particularly interesting. Well, they're interesting as far as there's a lot wrong with them, and you can kind of see the design tensions of this game quite explicitly there. But they're not interesting in terms of pointing at really interesting storytelling techniques, so that's sad.
Lines are busy at the moment. Please hang up and try your call again later.
I can't get anyone on the home.
War has been drawn to the shores of the United States.
Troops already stretched to the growing point.
The Russians must have copied the ACS module. Got the key to every lock.
Right, so now we're told about the ACS module.
Americans for every dead civilian in Moscow. Looks like we're all out of friends.
I know a guy. Let's find a payphone, if they still exist.
All we got out of Rojas is that the only guy Makarov hates worse than Americans is locked up in a gulag.
That's all we've got. If this con's the bait to catch that psychopath, let's hang him from a tree.
Alright, so all we got from the guy, the smuggler, that we found is that there is a guy that Makarov hates, locked up in a gulag in Russia somewhere, so maybe if we get him, we can lure out Makarov. So it's also a very far-fetched story, but we're on our own now because America's kind of distracted from being invaded. So right, so there's two not particularly interesting levels, which I hopefully said some interesting things about at least. And then I think there's another uninteresting Brazil level, then another uninteresting America level. But after that we get the Gulag levels are very interesting, and the Washington levels in America are very interesting. So we'll keep fighting through these less interesting levels and hopefully find interesting bad things to say about them at least. And we'll see where we go after that. So thanks.